Hey, I'm Jaimie.
And I'm Jay.
And today we're going to make a skull tiki torch. The first step in our project is to prep our skull. Now we got this guy at the big box store and he's okay. The sculpt is really nice, but he's white and he's really plasticky looking and we want ours to be more realistic. So what we're gonna do is make it look like this.
To give our skull a more aged, realistic look, I'm going to use an oil-based wood stain. The color I'm using is walnut, which is nice because it's brown with a little bit of gray in it, but really any brown color will do. I make sure to apply it liberally so it sticks in all the cracks and brings out the texture in the skull. Then I wipe off the excess, making sure to leave a few blotchy areas for effect.
Alright, now that it's done, we're going to repeat the process on the jawbone and then let it dry for about 24 hours.
I traced the tiki torch to make a template so I could know how big of a hole to cut in the skull. Using the template, we traced the circle onto the top of the skull where we want the tiki torch to come out. I used a rotary tool with a cutting wheel to cut out the rough shape of the circle. I wasn't sure how intense it would be, so I kind of cut in the center first, but then I got the hang of it and cut around the edge. Once I got the bulk of the waist out, I used a rough grit sanding drum to clean up the edges. I did a test fit with the tiki torch and marked where I needed to make the hole bigger. We went back and forth between sanding and marking a few times, but eventually we got it to fit just right. We used a straight edge to mark the center lines on the bottom of the skull to make our best guess as to where the tiki torch would come out. To cut out the bottom, we had to take his jaw off again. At this point, Jay came home and reminded me that we had this really awesome hole cutter drill bit. It was so much easier. We did a test fit, and the hole we cut was just a little bit small, so like the top, we had to expand it. We marked it, sanded it, and gave it one last test, and everything fit really well.
So that took a little bit of work getting him dialed in, but it fits really nice and snug now. So we're gonna put it together, get him all dressed up, and get him outside.
Since the skull fits so tight, I only needed a thin line of hot glue around the edge to hold it in place. The tiki torches I'm using for this project are pretty old. They were sitting in our backyard for a couple years and they were really falling apart. So I wrapped it with some twine in a couple of places to help hold it together. This was simple to do and gives it a great handmade look. I trimmed the tabs off of the jaw since it no longer fit, and then I glued it back in place. This is one of those great Halloween projects that's really quick to do. It uses very few materials, and the materials it does use are super easy to find. And as an added bonus, it helps keep those pesky mosquitoes away.
Thanks for watching, guys. We hope you liked the video. If you did, please give it a like, leave us a comment, say hello, and check out our channel. We've got a bunch of other Halloween projects that you'll probably like. Until next time, stay wicked. Oh, and one more thing. Yes, it was right here.